Yes, people. What's going on? Welcome back to Saeed TV, and this is the Best of the Rest show, sponsored by Boohoo Man. Big up to Boohoo Man for sponsoring the video. If you want to go and get 40% off of Boohoo Man, use the code Saeed, or all you have to do is go onto the barcode, scan the QR code right there next to Patrick, and go and get 40% off. Or you can go in the link in the description. Yeah. Or you go on the link in the description and use the code Saeed. That's in the link in the description there. Big up to Boohoo Man for sponsoring us. Go and get your latest Boohoo Man gear, hats, jumpers, jackets. Go and get it all and get 40% off using the code Saeed. Over 400 of you in the chat already. It's going to be a good show, people. Big up to man like Patrick's in a building. Patrick, what are you telling me? You good?
I'm all right, man. I'm all right. Why is Bremsy hiding? I thought top of the tree and all of that.
I was going to bring my cat on, man, on the fucking show, bro. I'm telling you, the news today has knocked me for a six, fam. I'm telling you, like cricket, when you get knocked out of the arena. That's what's happened to me.
Jorginho.
What did I say?
If he comes and scores at your ground, fam, that famous penalty, make sure you remember that song, yeah?
Oh, my God. You got a penalty merchant. That's what you've got, man.
Yeah.
Oh, my
top of the tree and still banter FC. That's what I said in the group chat earlier.
Your top of the tree. Oh, mate, you did a GoFundMe to get Pedro Porro over the line, mate. What are you talking
about? But nah, man. Big up, man. Big up to everybody who's here. We've got Patrick, we've got Premsy. We'll also be having Lawrence, Chelsea fan, who will be here. Lewis is too busy sorting out the Enzo Fernandez deal. So they're all doing a madness to get that sorted out. So we will have Lawrence, who is Austrian as well. So that might go in hand. So he'll go in hand with the Sabitzer. So he might tell us a bit more about Sabitzer. But let's start from Jorginho. Premsy, be honest, yeah? You've gone from Caicedo to Jorginho. Like, that is a mad drop-off, innit? From where you were getting the next party region, the next box-to-box Vieira. Now, you've got Jorginho, who Chelsea have just basically said, you know what, you can have him for that price, 12 million price. Are you happy with that? Be honest, as an Arsenal fan? Because a lot of Arsenal fans are not happy. What are you saying?
Do you know what? I'm trying to find the positives out of it. I'm not going to lie, but I'll be totally honest, bro. I'm not happy at all. I think Chelsea moved more proactive when it comes to the market. I think they kind of learned early on that Caicedo wasn't going to get sold. You get me? And Arsenal are hanging on, trying to get the deal over the line. Clearly, Arteta has been after this player for a while. You know, we've seen him talk up Jorginho before. We've seen the little clips of him putting his arm around him. There's reports that he wanted him at City. But the problem is, when he wanted him at City, it was 5-6 years ago, bro. That isn't right now. You get me? I understand that he's an accomplished player. He's got experience and so on. But personally, do I think he's the right fit for Arsenal? No, I don't. I think he progresses the ball very slowly. There's a lot of sideways passing to him. Can he do what Thomas Partey does? No. I know that we ain't going to get an exact same player like Thomas Partey, but we've left it too late in the window, bro. Edu's got to take some slack for this. I don't blame Arteta, because Arteta must have given Edu a list, must have given his top priorities and also plan Bs as well. It's their job to go out there and go and get these players. Now, we've missed out on players like Vlahovic. We've missed out on players like Mudryk. We've missed out on players like Caicedo. We've also missed out on, what's his face that's gone to Barcelona, Rafinha. So all our top targets now, bro, we can never get them signed up. We have to go for plan Bs. And luckily enough, the plan Bs have kind of worked for us in a certain sense. So that's why I got to trust Arteta in his thoughts of wanting this guy, because as we all got to look at it, he's not going to come in as a first team starter. He's going to be coming in to add squad depth. But the funniest thing is, bro, we started this window with 3 midfielders, Partey, Lokonga, and El Neni, and we're ending it with 2, bro. It's mad. We're meant to be strengthening in them areas, not weakening in them areas. So we're going to have to wait and see what the situation is. I think 18-month contract is not the end of the world. It's not long. But when you put all the figures together, wages including, it's coming up to 20 mil. 20 mil for a 31-year-old. To me, that isn't smart business. That isn't good business. However, if you said to me, we ain't going to get nobody this window, I would have been even more pissed off. So at least we got a body in the door. And you know what? Now he's here. I'm going to support him. Once he's got that shirt on and he's got that badge on his chest, bro, I'm supporting him 110%. So that's
absolutely.
my thought.
Big up to HK Music says Edu worse than Myrtle. Big up to HK Music said Masood says a 2-year deal as well, Premsy. I'd be fuming. And the Toad says, nah, Premsy, you got to keep the same chest, one love. But it's difficult to have the same chest, you know what I mean? Like, and you know what, by the way, Patrick, I want to bring you to it. Like, Jorginho, does he suit what Arsenal are trying to do? Like, will he be able to kind of do? Can he fill the void in? Say now they do get an injury to party. Can he fill that void where he's left off?
You know what? Obviously, I was bantering before, but to be fair, I mean, once you know what? Sometimes in the transfer window, we're so involved in it, and we see deals flying around us left, right, center. You see clubs going for this player, that player. So you kind of like you're so emotional. You're so, especially when like a carrot's dangled in front of you, and you're told you might get Caicedo and you might get this guy, but Jorginho, on his own merit, isn't that bad of a player. I know he's had better days, but just 2 years ago, this guy was one of the front runners for the Ballon d'Or, helped Italy win the Euros, and he was instrumental in that run up to that to them winning. He was instrumental in Chelsea winning the Champions League. So let's not act like he's a shit player. Yeah, I know he's kind of fallen off and kind of off, but he's not coming in to start. And this is what Arsenal fans need to understand. They're crying out for squad depth. They're crying out for leaders. It's a young team. This guy is a leader. He's got the experience that they want and they're looking for. He's won a Champions League. He's, you know, yeah, man. I mean, in terms of backup players, someone that will come on and start now and again, and kind of you can come on to see out a game. He kind of is that. Do you know what I mean? So it's not that a bad business. On the strength of it, maybe when the dust is settled and you actually look at it, you know what? It's a decent player. He's only on a 1.5-year contract. It is what it is, isn't it? He's a body to like kind of like fill in a gap, but also add a bit of steel and depth. And yeah, he hasn't got the legs. He's not box to box. He's not. The guy can thread a pass. He is decent on the ball. If you've got people around him, then he's good. So we'll have to see in it. But you know, looking at it, I'm like, it's not that bad of a deal. I see Arsenal fans melting down and going crazy. I don't think it's that bad, and it's better.
I think
than not
it's just
getting
a disappointment, though, Patrick.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
You know what it is? Like you said, dangling the carrot and that. Yeah, and the more it's a mad thing. You get me? If the guy's not gonna come, go out there. Don't waste your time and go and bring somebody else in. Personally, Caicedo would have been perfect because of his age. 21 years old. He's proven in the Premier League. He can go and fit the mold of Thomas Partey.
That's a scary signing.
The positive is he's better than El Nene and he's better than Lokonga in it. So that's the only positive that you can look at. But it's just a thing that, but Arsenal fans are just sick and tired of not getting the main signings, man. Like, what the fuck do we have to do to go out there and sign who we want? Is a
Flemsy, I saw bare Edu outs. How are you feeling about that? There's like people just listing.
Yeah, there's a lot of Edu outs, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of Edu outs.
You know what? I personally, I wouldn't jump on that just yet. You get me? Because you got to look at what they have done so far. When we have missed out on a target, they've moved straight away and signed another player. And that player that they've signed has actually come into the door and has worked. So if, for example, we were missing out on our major targets, bringing in plan Bs and they weren't working, then fair enough, I can understand it. But at the same time, I can understand why people are pissed off with Edu, because if you got that real oomph about you, when you're going into a deal, you're not letting man take the piss out of you. You put stamping your authority and you're getting deals over the line. We're seeing people get missed out on over a few mil here, a few mil there. You get me? And I don't like the look of that. For years and years and years, that's how Arsenal have moved. 40 mil and £1 for Luis Suarez, bro. You get me? I want their memories to be long gone. So I can understand why Arsenal fans are pissed off. Obviously, we just don't want to bring the whole house down because we are still in a very positive place. And Thomas Partey's injury news isn't so bad. He should be back for Everton. It's just the thought of knowing that we've had the World Cup. These men have had the whole month of the World Cup to sit down and plan this window. Then they've had the full window and they haven't been proactive. If Jorginho was one of their main targets, this guy would have been through the door early January. He's only costing 12 mil. So you got to look at the facts. Yeah, I understand you're going to go in and want players, but Caicedo, they only went in for him the last week of the window. Where was the bite to go in early in the window and go and get a midfielder? So this is what kind of frustrates me about Arsenal. But we just gotta take it as it is, man. And at the end of the day, I can see someone there saying that I'm sitting on the fence with Edu. I'm not, bro. At the end of the day, we're at top of the Premier League table, innit? So that's the bottom line of it. So you got to be positive in certain aspects, because if we didn't have Edu, you never know, some deals might have not got through. So we're not there and we're not in the background to know exactly what's going on. But he does have to take some flack and have to take a real
Yeah, of
serious look
course.
at himself moving into the summer. Because I
Everyone's
think
entitled to
personally,
opinion, man.
I think personally that obviously this is the only positive that I can see out of it is that they're going in for Jorginho now and maybe putting that money that they were going to put down for Caicedo for Declan Rice in the
In the
summer.
summer.
That's the only way I can look at it.
But does his not price go up though in the summer? This is the kind of thing. Let me just read this super chat from Zaymi Yasser. Saeed, you've got Workhorse, we've got Trossard and Jorginho, who's on the same level as Casemiro. Once Arteta does his magic, also get ready for our summer window with Rice. I mean, listen, Zaymi Yasser, I don't know, what did he say here? He's followed up to say, I'm on Don Robbie's Cohiba cigars, not shisha. Well, listen, mate, whatever you're having, mate, don't give it to anyone else. That's all I'm saying to you, because that is not even a cigar. That's something in that cigar. So you need to check that cigar, mate, if it's something dodgy in that. Bro, man's the same level as Samiro.
The position that we're in, we can't even really be looking to the summer and looking forward. We need to be looking right now. And personally, we need to bring them players in right now to go and win the league. If you have to overpay, go and fucking overpay in it. It's not like we're accustomed to overpaying for players year in, year out. Go and do it. This season's different to seasons that we've seen. There's no given that we're going to be challenging for the Premier League next season. You know what I'm saying? So for me, they've done a cock up, but I'd rather see a body through the door than nobody in it. You get me? If we was to go in and even get a Neves or someone like that, that could have played a bit forward. We do have options to drop into the defensive midfield. You could put Zinchenko there, play Tierney left back, put Ben White there, play Tomiyasu right back, or even this new Kivar kid that we've brought as well. He can play in defensive midfield.
True.
So there's options, man.
Yeah. This one here is kind of mad, you know. I mean, the stats here, but total tackles, Jorginho is doing better. Interceptions, Jorginho's doing better. Ball recoveries, Jorginho's doing better. Passes completed, Partey's doing better. And forward passing percentage, Jorginho is doing better. How do you interpret these stats, by the way? Anybody?
Yeah, what I will say is that
it's
two completely different teams. Like Arsenal getting the ball, they're pinging it around.
They got Lawrence, by the way.
Okay, wicked. Yeah, welcome, bro. So they're in more control of the game, where Chelsea have been all over the place. Like every game's completely different. Some games are getting overran. Some games, yes, they are taking control of the ball. Some games they're having to like sit back and, you know, the other team's playing them off the park. Where Arsenal, if we're being honest, they've been more in control of games. So the stats are going to be misleading. Hence why you'll see teams that are always getting peppered, their defenders get more blocks and more intercept because they're obviously more chasing the ball. So you got to be careful when you interpret stats. You also got to add context to them. But like I said before, I don't think Jorginho's that bad of a player. I don't know why. I understand. I totally hear what Firmsy's saying because of, you know, you were up there with Caicedo and all of these type of players, and you got, but he's not that bad. And as long as he's got people around him, he will add some value, depth, and experience to a young Arsenal team.
Yeah. Yes. Big up to Lawrence for coming on short notice as well. I appreciate you coming on. How are you, Lawrence? You good?
Mate, I'm good. I've had a bit of a whirlwind of a day so far. Chelsea are still in a whirlwind of a day. Let's see whether we get Enzo or not. But yeah, I'm probably one of the few Chelsea fans that has actually gutted about Jorginho. Not just going to Arsenal, but just in the first place leaving. Not because I think he should necessarily always start every game, but I just think it's a bit mental to let the only DM that we actually have in the squad leave. And then the person we're trying to replace him with isn't the real DM. I don't really understand what the plan is there, to be honest. But I think he'll probably do well for us. I don't know how much he's necessarily going to start, but for those certain games that he's probably going to be used in, I think he's actually going to look better for you guys or for Arsenal than he did for us. Just because a player like Jorginho in my books works looks very good in a functioning team. And Arsenal at the moment clearly are a functioning team. And then that will drastically hide his weaknesses, I think. But again, I'm one of those few Chelsea fans that don't have an agenda against him. So,
okay, big up to HK Music says Arsenal can have Jorginho and Rice. United going to go and get Enzo Fernandez. Well, I'm not sure. We'll see what Lawrence has to say. And Manu Kone in the summer. Enzo is not going to Chelsea. Benfica do not want to sell. Just before you go though, like I said, Lawrence, it's one of them situations where Arsenal now benefited. Are you surprised you kind of sold him to? But then again, you're not a rival because you've sold a lot of players to Arsenal, haven't you? It's not. You've got this weird relationship where you keep giving players to Arsenal or vice versa. It's mad, isn't it?
It is mad. The only thing that's changed now is usually we're in a title fight, or we're like third, and Arsenal are like seventh. When we've sold them like Czech and Willian and David Luiz, give them Arsenal retirement hope. But now Arsenal are about to win the league, and we're in 10th. So, it's a very different situation. And again, like I say, it's not like we have a completely stacked squad of 17 DMs. No, he's the only one we have. So that's why I just think it's just a little bit crazy. I understand the concept. Obviously, his contract runs out in the summer. We wanted to make a little bit of money from him. Would I have hoped for a bit more than 10 plus, potentially 2 more? Yes. But then again, it's 6 months left on the contract. So high, what can you really ask and expect? But yeah, what can I say, bro? Like I say, it's...
Not Lorenz, lift me on this signing, man. Lift me on this signing, because I'm not feeling it.
He's not happy, apparently. He's not really
make me excited in some kind of way.
Because you're not paying a lot of money for him. If he's going to be your party backup, and whenever you need to see a game out, or it's about controlling a game and it's less physical, then surely you have just a good player to help you with that.
Exactly what I said.
My issue is I've watched Jorginho many times, and for me, he passes the ball sideways a lot of time. I don't think his progressive play is anywhere near what Partey offers to the team. And also, I think he could get caught defensively. He's prone to making a few mistakes here and there. So that's what my worry is. I'll be totally honest with you, bro. That is what my worry is, where I do appreciate that, in the Europa League, we're going to have some games where we might not be playing against top opposition, but we're in the latter stages of it now. We need somebody that's going to come in and just be able to hit the ground running. Obviously, we know he's got Premier League proven, and he should be able to settle into the squad. But can he fit to Arteta's system quickly, or does it take him a longer time to fit to a system? Because when Chelsea have been moving through different systems of late, you haven't really been seeing Chelsea benefit or Chelsea really progressing. So that's my worry. That's my main worry about him, man.
Hey, there's a lot of Chelsea fans who will probably agree with you that that's going to be exactly the issue. My point is that, like I say, you're a very well functioning team that play very good football. Now, obviously, a lot of that is on the basis of high intensity, which that part is not going to help that much with. But in a team that already wants to pass quickly, is ready to pass quickly, to move around well, and just be direct in terms of just play from deep in midfield. He's going to sit very deep. He's going to drop between your centre backs in build up. He's not going to be around the box and trying to create chances for you, but to beat a press, to just go past team quickly. I think he's going to be superb personally. And because you're a team that plays well at that already, the little flicks around the corner, it's quick 1-2 touches through the midfield, and then you get to your attacks, to your attackers. You give Odegaard, Saka, blah, blah, you give those the ball. I think to progress that ball up the pitch quickly, it's going to be very good. Now, is he going to play the perfect 60-yard sprays left, right? No, he's not. And even if he does play them, he doesn't hit the long balls with a lot of power. So they're not as decisive often as some other players. Like, say, when De Bruyne switches play 60 yards. It's a wonder ball, and it has so much pace on it that obviously no team can do anything about it. Jorginho's balls more float through the air like a balloon, and then the team has all the time in the world to just shift across. That's what it feels like sometimes. Yeah, I mean, he will get caught sometimes. That happens to him, but I don't think it happens to him if the team in front of him functions. Because if he has passing options, the guy doesn't lose the ball. He just loses the ball when he doesn't know where to pass the ball to. So if there's someone giving it an option, and I think Arsenal do that at the moment, I think they play well. As much as I dislike Arsenal, you have to, give credit where credit's due. I think he's going to be okay. But what I don't know is how much he'll play, right? If you think about certain games, once you take the lead and you just want to control the game, he's going to be a game changer for you, I think, actually.
Okay, well, I'll take that on board. I think we brought him in for the penalty kicks and that. I seen a comment in there from Dave saying, why is Premsy questioning Jorginho's fit for Arteta and so on? He's wanted him from 2020. If he wanted him from 2020, mate, he would have signed him already. We've literally right at the last day of the window. And if that was his first target, would have brought him through the door. So I don't think he was fully set on him himself, to be honest.
There's an interesting deal come out of nowhere. Man United are ready to take entire salary of Houssem Aouar and pay a loan fee. This madness. This transfer window is crazy, by the way. And we will talk about it. And by the way, Lawrence, you're Austrian, aren't you?
I am.
So we will talk about Sabitzer. It's kind of crazy that, Lewis is not available and you can talk about Sabitzer. But Let's talk about Enzo Fernandez. Lawrence, what's the latest that you're hearing? Do you reckon it's going to happen? Are you confident? Are you worried? What's your emotions right now regarding Enzo Fernandez?
I think it's going to have to happen, but I am an optimistic person. So, I'm not going to be depressed already. I might have plenty of time to be depressed after midnight if we don't get it. Apparently, according to, who is it? I just got to hear. Fabrizio just said he's having his medical already now, but there's nothing agreed yet. So they already did the medical just in case we get an agreement so they can still actually get it done. But there is no green light yet. The weird thing is, you hear so many different reports. In the afternoon, someone said again, they only take the release clause. But I'm like, well, clearly not. Because otherwise, they wouldn't have negotiated with us for the last, what feels like month, but for the last few days. What negotiating is there to be done if all they say is release clause or nothing? Then there's nothing to negotiate about. So clearly there is some sort of basis where this can happen, but whether it will happen or not, I don't know. I feel like it will, because I know reports have said it's nothing to do with Jorginho, but surely we didn't let a midfielder go when we need a midfielder already, without getting one back in. That would just be insane. I know we sometimes do stupid things, but surely not this stupid.
What are you thinking, Patrick? Enzo Fernandez, it's been a mad saga. It's happened since the end of December. Bro, what are you thinking? Obviously, you could say you want your medical, but it has to be done on time. It has to be, everything has to go through. They apparently want 105 million, straight away, without all these installments. 105 million has to be in the bank. Where are you looking at now, Enzo Fernandez, for you, Patrick?
I think going back to what Premsy said about the whole Jorginho to Arsenal thing, the difference is Chelsea have been on this guy's case since the World Cup finished. So you can see there's clear intent. He was one of their main transfer targets. I know they've brought in other players since, but they were keen on the guy. They've tracked him the whole way through. Obviously, negotiations are taking place. The medical's already happening. So I think it will get done, man. It's going to be tight, but you can see Chelsea have intent. And push comes to shove, Chelsea will pay the money. Chelsea aren't scared to pay a bit over the odds to get a player in. That's the difference with Chelsea and a lot of clubs. The intent is there. We're yet to see if it was going to work long term with all the players they're bringing in, but you can't fault their ambition and intent to get the players that they feel they want. So, yeah, I mean, obviously we don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but I think if push comes to shove, Chelsea will just say, you know what, F it, let's just pay it, get it done. So it will probably happen. It will be late and tight, but by the looks of it, it will happen, man. Chelsea are very serious about getting the bodies in. So,
Sorry, can I super quickly just correct myself? I said earlier he is having a medical. I just can't read. It said isn't.
Oh, he isn't? I thought
no, it said is. Yeah, I said is, but accidentally. I just read it wrong. It said isn't.
Okay.
I thought he'd done the medical as well, from what I saw. I thought it'd been done already.
Yeah.
So,
listen, Fabrice said Enzo's not having a medical yet. Nothing agreed. It's not happening.
Okay.
Well, listen.
That's not what he said. He just said it's not done yet.
Yeah, it's not done yet. Yeah. Obviously, HK Moose is a United fan, so he's obviously like me, man. I hope it doesn't happen because that's my dream transfer, dream midfielder. Honestly, man, Enzo Fernandez is the one for me, and I think Chelsea. Yes, it's not a DM, but what you're going to get in that quality in the midfield is going to be ridiculous, man. And I think it's going to make you play better. And you know what? You're going to have a bit of balance in that midfield now. So I think it's going to be a good deal. David Blaze says, thanks, Premsy. Not the best signing, but we ain't going to kidnap Caicedo. Brighton not selling for any price. Brighton,
let me respond to that quickly. You know what? Yeah, big up for the super chat. I understand what you're saying, but what people need to understand, Arsenal only went in for Caicedo in the last part of the window. Now, if you want a player, put the money down and make them an offer they can't refuse. And it box smart in this window, especially when you're going for the Premier League title. And that's how I see it, bro. I'm telling you now. Well, big up for the super chat, though, bro.
Anything else for you then? Just the Enzo situation. Is that'll be it for Chelsea? Lawrence, are you happy with that? It's a lot of money you spent now. What's the aim now? Because for me, you can't say you're not going to get top 4 or the European places. It's a lot of money you spent now. 600 million. What's the aim now? If you go and get Enzo over the line, how do you prepare for the rest of the season now?
Well, for the rest of the season, I guess we try to do whatever we can with the Champions League, I guess. We'll play against Dortmund. We can only register 3 of all of our new players, mind you. So not all of the other players are going to help us. So we're probably going to have, if Enzo happens, Enzo, Mudryk, and what's the other guy? I forget. João Felix. It's probably going to be the 3 that we're going to register, I assume.
So no Badiashile. You can't register Badiashile.
Hey, I would love him because he's been absolutely phenomenal in the 2 games he got to play so far. But are they really not going to register one of the 3 I just mentioned? I doubt it. If we can only register 3, hey, it's a marketing business as well. They will register those 3. And in the Prem, I still see. I mean, hey, I back the optimism, but the problem is, even if we win every game, if there's so many teams between us and 4th that, yes, some teams will drop enough points, but will all of them? And we are not going to win every game either, because like we've signed a lot of players now. We let in Jorginho, a player that started pretty much every game for us, go. So you also got to expect a little bit of a period of where the players actually get to work, like start working together properly again. This is why usually you don't make crazy transfer windows in January. Usually crazy transfer windows happen in the summer, so players can play together in pre-season and get to know each other, not do that while games are happening. So
yeah.
Hey, we're gonna try, but at the end of the day, I think the season, in most Chelsea fans' minds, is the write-off. We just see where we end up and hope we don't end up in the Conference League, because no one wants that.
No, definitely not, man. Big up to everybody who's locked in. 1.2k in the building. Appreciate all the support today on the channel, and make sure you guys follow in Premsy TV. Lawrence's channel, I will put it in the description. Big up to Lawrence as well. And also Patrick Chiron's channel as well is in the description. So make sure you go do that. But please like the videos. Over 1.2k in it. We should be on at least 500 likes. So big up to you. Sammy Lakonga's gone to Palace as well. Premsy, just thoughts on that before we go to Tottenham?
This is what I'm saying, bro. Like, obviously, I agree with the move. I'm not going to lie. I do agree with the move. He needs a loan. But obviously, just touching on a comment that I saw in there as well, that Premsy wants to... obviously, I can't help but read the comments, people. This is what I'm saying. It's a sick community and it's a sick chat. Somebody put in there, Premsy wants us to blow our transfer record on a backup. But he's not only a backup. He was 21 years of age, and he's not only a backup. He could have been the future. He could have learnt off Thomas Partey, who people are forgetting he was 30 years old and could be the future to move forward. And look at Man City. You have to have a proper quality squad depth in order to go and challenge on all fronts. And at the moment, we got a quality 11, not a quality squad. We brought in Trossard, good stuff. But look, Sambi Lakonga's gone now. If a Jorginho gets injured when he comes in, we've left ourselves short, really, in midfield. But he did need to go on loan, and he needed to get some game time. So hopefully Patrick Vieira can turn him into him and send him back.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go to Tottenham. Patrick, crazy. You know, Pedro Porro still is flying over to Tottenham right now to finally complete the medical. Matt Doherty has gone to Atletico Madrid, but you haven't signed a centre-back. It's weird. You bought a right back. You've let Jed Spence go to Stade Rennais. Like, it's weird. Are you happy by this transfer window, like the January? Have you maximized what you could have done?
No, I'm not happy. I mean, I see people giving it 8 out of 10s and 9 out of 10s. For me, it's a 5/6 at best. 5/6, because don't get me wrong, Pedro Porro is a quality right wing back. He's a very, very good player, and obviously anyone's an upgrade on Doherty and Emerson Royale. So that's great. And when I seen him play against us in the Champions League, he was fantastic. He's a good player. So instantly he upgrades that right-hand side where we've had a lot of problems. Jed Spence, I'm really happy for him. I think he's only played something crazy like 41 minutes in half a season.
Bro.
So him going to Rennes was great as well. He's smart because both of their, their right back, starting right back is the captain. He's out for basically the whole season. Their backup right back is also injured. So he instantly slots in there when we'll play, which is what he needs. He's a young player. He needs game time. So that's a good move. For me, we needed a centre-back, man. I've been saying that. If you check my tweets on my Twitter, I've been saying that all window long. I wanted a right back that will come, a centre-back that will come in and partner Royale. Someone that is... Sorry, not Royale. What am I saying Royale for? Partner Romero. Someone who's...
Romero,
someone who's good enough to start and someone that we can all rely on and be secure in, because our centre-backs are crap, man. Eric Dyer, flat as to deceive. He had a good little run, but now we're seeing him back to his crap best. Lenglet is okay, but he's not good enough. And you saw for the 4th goal against Man City, just not up to speed and not where we need him to be. Ben Davis, never been good enough, was a backup back in Pochettino's day, and now he's starting week in and week out. Very odd how he's still at in our squad and in our team. So yeah, man, we needed someone to partner Romero. Romero is a fantastic centre-back. I understand rivals don't rate him as highly as they should because he's playing with crap players week in and week out. So he's having to do a lot more than he should, but you can see the quality of him if you look at him and his individual performances. So, I mean, we've done okay. like Danjuma's a good player as well. I'm excited to see
Yeah,
him.
Danjuma. Yeah, I forgot about
he's
that
a good
one.
player.
Yeah.
So these are good players, but they're not. It's not enough, man. It's not enough. And if we had any ambition and intent, we would have got a good centre back in. We've had all window, World Cup as well. So even before then, they had time to track and even like Femzi's saying, we've had a longer period. And so, yes, the window's still the same length, but we've had even longer because of the World Cup. So these guys behind the scenes have had more time to really track players and get players in, and it's not been good enough, man. So the window, it's like you give one hand, take with the other. So it is what it is, isn't it? It's been decent, but not good enough for me, man. Not good enough. I still think we'll make top four, though. I've been saying it all along. I still think we make top four. United, you guys, I'm not too sure about you, and especially if Eriksen's out. Sabitzer looks good, don't get me wrong, but he's not Eriksen. I mean, he's a good player, but they're two different players. Obviously, if you get a Awar in as well, then cool, you're talking. And Newcastle, for me, I'm still not sure about them offensively. Defensively, they keep clean sheets, but do they have enough to sustain that? So, there's a spot there. There's two spots there, in my opinion. But I'm not happy with the window. But it is, I don't want to be too negative. We've upgraded in 2 positions. But then also, I still don't understand. We are making top 4, Lucy. So, yeah, we'll see. We're chatting May on it. But for me, also Brian Gill going out on loan again. Just dumb decisions, man. We paid 27 mil plus Lamella for this guy, and he's never played for us. When you want depth, like when we've had a few injuries, I've looked at our bench and there's been no attacking players there. So we go and get Danjuma in. You'd think that would add to it. So we bring Danjuma in and we let Brian Gill go. So again, it makes no sense because if someone gets injured, we're back to where we were before. So you're meant to be strengthening, not keeping the same. So it's a bit weird. Yeah. So, without me rambling on for too long, I'm happy with the players we bought in, but I still don't think it was enough. Big up to Lee Gunner as well. He's my favourite Arsenal fan. Sorry, friends. I love you, but Lee Gunner.
Why are you getting on your knees? Are you trying to get a spot on his show?
I'm keeping it 100. I'm keeping it 100. I love Lee Gunner. He's funny, man. He's funny.
Yeah. You know what? Big up Lee Gunner. Make sure you subscribe to his channel, man. Lawrence, do you echo his thoughts? Like, obviously, Tottenham, you guys might be able to chase them down, but I don't like. What it is with Tottenham? I just don't like. Apart from Harry Kane, I'm just looking at them and think they're okay. I just think their position in the league's a bit false. If I'm being really honest with you,
come on.
But Lawrence, I'll be really honest with you.
I'm not gonna
lie to you, man.
Let's see, I'll turn your cap backwards, fam.
Yeah, man, turn the cap. But Lawrence, what are you thinking with Tottenham, man? Because it's a sicky one. The defense isn't great, but they've added Pedro Porro. I don't know if you know much of him, but what are you thinking, bro?
You're on mute.
You're on mute.
Sorry, bro. I know that Pedro Porro, apparently, João Felix's girlfriend cheated on João Felix with Pedro Porro. So
hey, my guy. See, there you go. There you go.
Because we were thinking with him for like a second as well. I was like, well, surely not. We can't stick them together in a team. That's mental.
Wow.
But yeah, I probably know much better than any of you do how Conte's second seasons go. It's going to get worse from here, mate. You already play bad football now. It's just going to get worse. And now the transfer window's over, February, March, he's already going to complain about more transfers again. It's what he loves. Conte loves nothing more than complaining. And his wig, obviously, he loves that too. But nah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying we're going to catch you just because of points gap, but I feel like United are more likely to get to 4 than Spurs. But it's also, like I say that about Conte in our second season, he still won us the FA Cup though. So on occasion, he can still turn up. The question is, will that be consistent enough to do anything in the league competition? I don't think so. It just doesn't look good. But then if Son and Kane are in form, it doesn't really matter what the rest of the team do, does it? As long as Conte allows them to be even half as good as they can be, then they're going to get enough goals to win a fair few games, I guess. So it's a tough one, and I just in an ideal world you get relegated, but that's not going to happen.
You know what's mad, yeah? You know what's mad, yeah? Premsy, I want to bring you in, but listen, he's had Jed Spence, and Jed Spence now in France. If this Pedro Porro comes in and he doesn't play him, just you know what Conte's like? He's stubborn. He doesn't play him, man. That is going to be a madness, and that's why I think Tottenham fans will break because they'll be like, you know what? We allow Jed Spence, but if you don't play Pedro Porro and you end up playing the other Brazilian, this could be sticky, innit?
You know what? He fits right in at Tottenham. Low life, you get me? Gone cheating with man's missus and that. He fits right in with Tottenham. But look, at the end of the day, we've seen the same with Reguilon as well. He came in with a big reputation and then it didn't quite work out. Like I said, for any player that joins any team, there's no given that they're going to come in and hit the ground running, because this league is totally different. It's very demanding, and you got to not only have technical ability, you got to have strength about you and a good mindset as well. So we're gonna have to wait and see. But with Conte, you don't know what's gonna happen in it, bro. At the end of the day, this guy, he can't even change his tactics, even if he wanted to. So if he comes in and he doesn't fit a certain style of play, they're kind of stuck, because he ain't gonna try to alter it to fit his needs. He's gonna want a player to come in and just fit what he wants to do, and that's that. So, like I said, man, obviously these man managed to rustle up the funds with that GoFundMe, and they got him over the line. Maybe he might appreciate it and try to play out of his skin for Tottenham. So, like I said, we're just going to have to wait and see, man.
Can I just touch on something? Sorry, someone in the comments said Toby's the only Spurs fan that's realistic. I'm a realistic Spurs fan. Listen, we are not... People keep... This is the thing that's funny about football. I said we can make fourth. I don't see why we can't catch United. I don't see why we can't catch Newcastle. They're only 3 points ahead of us. Yes, we played the game more, but we score a lot of goals. We scored the third most amount of goals in the league. Like Lawrence is saying, Son and Kane, if they're on form, we will score more than a lot of teams. So for me to say that we can make fourth, I don't see how that's that unrealistic. Again, I've seen people in the comments say that only our attack is decent. We've got Bentancur, he's a very good player. Kulu on the left so on the right is a very good player. Son has been crap, but we can see what he can do when he has, just a yard of space or whichever. It's not that wild to say we can make third or fourth. It really isn't.
Sorry to interrupt. There's a guy in the chat called Ironic Arsenal. He's chatting too much shit. Block him if he carries on. I don't know what he's like.
1 second. Yeah. Where is he gone? Yeah, let's block him.
Got no sense about himself, you get me? Guy probably has never been to a football game in his life and he don't know what's what. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But yeah, you know what? I think ultimately, Tottenham, I think we'll see what Pedro comes in. I think, we'll see what Dan Juma brings to the table. But it goes back to the same argument, isn't it? Conte, whether his stubbornness and the way the morale is at Tottenham, whether it fixes itself out, whether they can just concentrate. Sometimes transfer windows for Conte can be a bit too much. Now let him concentrate on the players he's got. Let's see where Tottenham go and how they build. Richarlison needs to have the second half of the season because he ain't scored enough goals. I don't think he scored any Premier League goals. Dan Juma needs to settle in well. Son has to find his form. I know he scored against Preston North End, but that's Preston North End. No disrespect to them. But they have to keep moving on. So let's see what happens with that one, and let's see what Tottenham do, man. So that's interesting. Let's move on to Man United. And Lawrence, we're going to come with you. I know you're Austrian, so you're going to give me some good news about Marcel Sabitzer. Talk to me about him. Obviously, you watch him in the national team. We're about to sign him. He's coming to Manchester now, flying over to Manchester. What can you tell us, bro, about Marcel Sabitzer?
Well, it's an interesting one because when it first came out, at least that's the first report I saw. The German report linked both Man United and Chelsea with him. Yeah. And for my reaction was like, what are we doing? He's, again, not a real DM. He's a midfielder, but he's not a defensive midfielder. So for us, it would have been pointless. You guys, I guess, are replacing Eriksen now that he's injured, right? That's the aim.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
There you go. So he's not going to be as creative as Eriksen. He's not going to ping the ball about and be your superstar passer. But what you can maybe know about him, like he started off as basically an attacking midfielder for the national teams. He even played as a false nine at times. I would say his biggest strength is certainly shooting from distance. He will score you a screamer every now and again, absolutely. I think he has the most goals from outside the box in the Bundesliga in the last God knows how many years. But what I don't know is how much sitting on the bench for a year and a half or whatever it was at Bayern Munich has impacted him now and how easily he can get back to what he was. Because, mind you, before he went to Bayern, he was Leipzig captain. So, like, he wasn't just a nobody. He was in the second or third best team in the Bundesliga. He was their captain playing every game midfield. It wasn't bad. He's going to do a job for United, but is he going to be the best player in the world? No, but you're probably not expecting that. So, for to fill in, he's going to run around. He's going to be a workhorse. He'll get you a goal or two. Yeah, whether he can handle the pressure of the big club, I guess he learned now at Bayern, but I guess it didn't really work out for him. So, is that positive experience or negative experience? I guess that's what you'll have to wait and see. But
have you seen enough quality from him to suggest that he could fit well in the Premier League? Have you seen enough quality from him in terms of obviously with the Austrian national team and what you've seen? Do you reckon he can fit in with the Premier League, the pace and the power of the Premier League? Has he got the technical ability to compete in the league?
I think so. My only question and concern is how well he can do this deeper in midfield, because in the national team, so where I've seen him the most, he's always played more as kind of a 10. That's kind of his main position, a number 10 in 4-2-3-1-ish, or even in a 3-4-3 as one of the kind of central wide players behind the striker. So like much more offensive than he's been played at Bayern, Leipzig, and probably will now for you. So in that position, I've seen enough of him. He's technically decent. Like the touch maybe isn't always perfect, but good enough. It's not like, it's not like Lukaku and the ball's going to bounce about. Do you know what I mean? Like I say, we'll get you a goal. I think physically it was going to be absolutely fine. The pace you'll have to wait and see. I guess every player that comes from anywhere, but as a Chelsea fan, we've been kind of scarred by Bundesliga players. So we take a little time to settle in. So maybe it won't happen from day dot. But I think overall he's not going to be the worst player. Hey, I'm Austrians. I hope he does all right. I guess it's time we finally get to a World Cup. So play well for him, but for you guys, and make him better, please.
Yeah. Big up to Ollie says, "Lol, you just broke Said's heart." Nah, listen, everybody has their opinion, man, and let's see how we kind of adapt to the Premier League. And it's a different league, German league. You know what I mean? You've seen it with Sancho and other players. It's a different league. Premier League is very, very. It's a lot. It could take a lot on you, Premzy, innit? So it's whether it kind of fits in. Eriksen was a big blow, man. Losing him for 5 months, and it's a situation with Jorginho. Like we need Sabitzer, and it's a case of beggars can't be choosers. And I would not take in Gallagher. Say now, I think I seen a rumor Gallagher was available on loan for Man United. And I was like, no, I'd rather be no midfielder. No,
I think he's going to be a good signing for you, man. Definitely going to be a good signing
player, man. I remember when we played Leipzig and he tore us apart, man. He's a good player. He's a good player. I wanted him like a couple of years ago. I was like, this guy's good. Obviously, he went to Bayern Munich. He had better suitors involved. He's a good player. He's kind of lost his way, but the quality is there. And if he can get him back to that, then it's a fantastic signing.
It's very low risk as well. Very low risk. He's 28 years old. He comes in. He does well. You can go in and buy him at a cut price.
He's a good player, man. Good player.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think for me, like I said, I look at qualities it brings. I look at the days in Leipzig, and yes, that was about 2 or 3 years ago, but still, them qualities don't leave you. I think his work rate and his tenacity in that midfield is what we're going to need. He gives us qualities that Eriksen doesn't have. But like I said, Eriksen is Eriksen and Sabitzer is Sabitzer. We need to kind of differ the two. Of them. Yeah, use both of them. And like I said, we needed a midfielder regardless of Eriksen being injured or not. So this is another midfielder on top, because I'm not looking to see McTominay play. I'm not looking to see Fred every game being relied upon. This is a player that will work in what Ten Hag wants. It's a similar philosophy. I like when similar philosophies come with players. It's not going to be like Woodward and maybe what Todd Bowley is doing right now. We don't know yet. It has to kind of, see how that develops. But right now, Ten Hag has specifically called Sabitzer and told him, I want you. And hopefully we can get him. I don't know whether we get any other
goals for you as well, man. He scores a few goals as well. Leipzig, if he's scoring, and probably more goals than what Eriksen will get you. And he's a physically stronger player than him, and he could play in that 10 role, just like Lauren said. So to be fair, like I said, minimal risk, and if he pays off, then you can go and buy him in the summer, innit? And he'll add that squad depth and already know the team. I think it's a smart bit of business. I think Arsenal were after him a few seasons back, and I was all for it, to be honest.
Yeah. No, listen, it's a mad transfer window, man. I didn't see a situation happening. We normally don't do anything on transfer deadline day, but it just shows you how mad this transfer window is. Obviously, you're still waiting. Lawrence, it's going to be a mad couple of hours now. Everybody's going to be waiting for their player. It's crazy, isn't it? Like, just imagine what the summer's going to be like, Lawrence. Like now, this is January. Imagine what the summer's going to be like.
Well, in the summer, we're probably not going to sign anybody, because then we can't give anyone 7.5-year deals anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
So, it's screwed in. No, but I think that partly, especially after that came in, I'm not sure whether we'd be pushing until deadline for Enzo if this whole, stopping the loophole that we seem to have found for the summer. I'm not sure whether we would be pushing as hard, but we're probably going to try to buy a goalkeeper, because it seems like we don't want Kepa or Mendy to be first choice. So need to find someone, but I still haven't had anyone tell me who that should be. So who knows? And we kind of need another midfielder. I would still kind of like Rice, but we see about that one. That's why I was kind of hoping Arsenal get Caicedo for like 90 million. Just overpay for him, then you have less money left. That's great. And then you can't rival us for Rice in the summer, because we seem to have all the money in the world.
Okay, here we go. So confirmed.
Yeah, confirmed. Man United to Manchester Sabitzer, Man United. Here we go. Full agreement reached on low deal. No buy option confirmed. Deal set to be signed with Bayern in the final hours as personal terms agreed to. Yeah, man. Marcel Sabitzer, man. Crazy,
Okay.
man.
Yeah, that's a good final addition, considering, you know, when I asked a lot of United fans after Eriksen got injured, do you think you'll go in for someone? They all said no. So it's the fact that you got him, that is a quality bit of business.
Top news, man.
Yeah, that's good business
news.
for you lot.
You know what I mean? So I can't lie. It's good, man. And like I said, you know, obviously you didn't get Caicedo, Premzi. You know, that's gone now. Are you, obviously, it's one of them, innit? Like, in the summer, you reckon you go back in for him? Or, because you might go, you don't know.
I think if they do go in for him, I won't be surprised. But at the same time, I could see them maybe looking more at Declan Rice. The window started off very good, and then it's kind of just dipped towards the end, because before the window started, every single Arsenal fan with Mohamed El Neni in the squad said we need a midfielder and a striker, a forward player. You get me? They've gone out there. Eddie Nketiah stepped up to the plate, so we haven't really gone and looked for a striker in certain senses, because he's actually dealing with the pressure that's on his shoulders right now. Jesus should be back in a few weeks or so. But they went out there, they brought in a winger in Trossard to give us cover on the wings, which was a good piece of business for me, especially after missing out on Mudryk, somebody who could come in, be Premier League proven. And we've seen already in short amount of time against United, against City, that he seems like he'll come and give us a different option and actually be effective to this title push. They brought in a centre-back. We don't really know much about him, but it's going to probably be an improvement on Rob Holding. But the place where they've lacked is in the midfield area. Obviously, now they've gone in and signed Jorginho. We're going to have to wait and see to see if he can come in as backup and kind of hold his own, which I'm hoping for. But I think if you really wanted to give the fans a little bit more excitement to really get them lifted, they should have just put a little bit more money down and went in for Caicedo. There was plenty of other options available as well. Frank Kessie as well. I think somebody who could have come in to the team and made him better, played as a 6. And also if Xhaka got injured, he could have fitted the role there and played as a bit of a box-to-box. So I think with the Jorginho, it's a little bit of a panic buy. But all in all, we've got bodies through the door. We've strengthened the squad. Touch wood, nobody else is injured apart from Jesus. It is looking all right, man.
Exactly. And obviously for you, Lawrence, you know, you've had a more than enough good window. Would you have wanted anything more? If you could be more greedy, what would you have got? Anything? Another midfielder alongside Enzo Fernandez?
Well, first we have to get Enzo done, innit?
Well, there you go. Yeah, yeah.
If we get Enzo done, I'll be pretty happy. Now, I touched on it earlier. I was not so pleased by the whole Jorginho thing, because I'm like, okay, now we have Enzo, but so is Enzo going to play every game until the end of the season as a 6, which I don't even think is his best position anyway. So I don't really see the plan there. So I'm not that happy with just letting Jorginho go. Sure, Kante will come back in February, but he might also play 2 games and then be injured for another 6 months. So can't really bank on Kante anymore, unfortunately, at least in my opinion. But hey, maybe he proves me wrong. But no, I don't think you could go complain much. We went into the window desperately needing a midfielder and needing a right back. Now we got a right back, but we're only getting him in the summer. So whether that is a good thing or not, we'll see. If Reece James stays fit for the rest of the season, amazing. We've got a great right back backup, a young, super talented right back backup for the summer, amazing stuff. But if Reece James get injured again and we need to see Azpilicueta or Chalobah out of position at right back again, well, then we're going to suffer some more. But I guess, hey, this is going to be our suffer season. You know, it's Conte all over again. You have to suffer. And hopefully it just gets better next year. But you know, now we see bloody Mudryk, you know, the next thing being investigated.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. Obviously, he said
to talk about it. I'm not sure how much you guys know about it.
He was rapping along to a Little Baby song, and it said the N-word in it. And then he was outside. You've probably seen it. He jumped out of his car. He was outside his car, him and a friend, and they're rapping along to the lyrics, and they literally say it word for word. And there's, you know, some words in there they shouldn't have repeated. So they're looking
thank fuck we didn't sign him, mate. Fuck we didn't sign him.
You probably wouldn't get investigated if he played for you lot.
Allow it.
You know what though? It's mad, isn't it though? Because you know what I mean. Like I said, I think Cavani got a ban as well for something similar. I think he wrote on something on Twitter and on Instagram. Some post. I forgot what it was again, but yeah,
they're gonna have to do some sort of action. You get me? You can't have all this getting down on one knee for 2 years go to waste and let my man get away with something like that. It's crazy, man.
Yeah, but listen, let's see what happens with that one, man. But yeah, man. So here we go, absolutely. And obviously, Patrick, It's a waiting game for you as well, isn't it? You know what I mean? For this deal to come through.
Yeah, well, they're saying it's pretty much done. He's going to sign the contract at 8 o'clock today. For me, the window's been decent, but not enough. We definitely, as touched on, needed a centre back because it's worrying. I mean, if I had my choice, I would have got a goalkeeper in as well. But I know you can't do two. We say that Chelsea have just gone and done a madness. So to be fair, you can do it if you put the money down. But typically, clubs don't go out and buy 5 or 6 players in one January window. But needed a centre back to partner Romero. We didn't get that. Right back, I'm really excited to see him. He's a good player, and people are going to see that as the weeks progress. And then obviously Dan Juma, interesting to see how he slots in, but he does have quality off the bench or a change of options if and when we need it. So, been a decent window. Not enough really, but it's okay. It is what it is, and I'm just going to have to roll our sleeves up and get to work.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting, man. And like I said, there's how many hours left in the window? 11 p.m. it closes, isn't it?
Yeah, so 3 hours essentially. Yeah, 3 hours and 5 minutes. So
do you reckon there'll be more deals to come through now, or do you reckon all the big ones, the main ones, are all getting?
There's definitely going to be another surprise.
Really.
There'll be another surprise. It might not be one of our teams, but there's always one curveball.
Do you know what, Lauren?
If we don't get Enzo, whether we sign somebody else, because we still desperately need a midfielder. So I'm not sure if the Enzo thing doesn't work out, if we then all of a sudden go for someone else. Like, I'm not sure if you guys paid that much attention in the summer, but Zakaria, we got in the last few minutes of before deadline, and we were like, well, where's he come from? So if Enzo doesn't happen, we probably sign somebody else. But
Lawrence, just a quick question as well. Is the Enzo deal, is it one of them situations? Because what I've been hearing and reading is the financial fair play, how it's kind of working is Chelsea want to spread it over 5 years. And they're saying that obviously the club don't want to do that. They're saying give 105 million up front, or they don't really want to spread it over 5 years. And that's where the stumbling blocks come into it.
No, exactly. They basically want the release clause paid, which means you need to pay it all in one go, which is then it can be. No outlets ever confirmed whether we will definitely be in trouble if we do that with financial fair play, but they said we could be in trouble if we do that. So that's why we want to pay it in installments, but not even necessarily for that reason, but it's more for the accounting. Because if you buy a player, no matter what the installments are, how much you pay up front or whatever in terms of payment to the other club, but then you can amortize it on the books for financial fair play, just spread out across the contract length. That's why we're giving out these super long contracts of 7.5, 8.5 years. Because say Mudryk now costs, base fee 62.5 million. And you basically spread that across the 7.5 years of his contract. So that's how much it costs us a year rather than right now, 62 million. But if we had to pay the release clause for Enzo, it's 105 in one go. But if we agree with them to somehow pay 105, or I wouldn't be surprised if we pay a 5 million extra, 10 million extra to get it done otherwise. But they won't get it all up front. We probably pay them a few million up front. Well, I say a few.
It's also good negotiating
up top, and the rest spread out over
You know what, though? As much as I hate Chelsea, as much as I don't like Chelsea, what they're doing right now, it's also good negotiation. The way they've done it, they've actually operated a little smart because they've just got it done. Like, everything's been done quickly, swiftly. They've gone in smart, and like I said, right now they're doing their thing, man. So.
There was sorry to interrupt you. There was even talk that we did another weird loophole thing that we are now apparently getting some third-party company involved who will basically essentially give us a loan. That loan will then pay for Enzo Fernandez, and we just pay back the loan because we don't want to pay it all in one go. So that's why we're just paying it back to them.
Then you get time to pay that loan.
Apparently fine again.
What's the loan? What's the loan percentage on that? Is that interest?
No. Hey, maybe Todd Bowley sold us no interest.
No, Chelsea are moving smart, man. Like I said time and time again, they're trying to get this player over the line this window because they know without Champions League football next year, it's going to be hard for these kind of players to come through. So get them in now. And if you have to pay over the odds, man, you got to give Chelsea credit, man. They found a little chink in the armor of how to go and get these deals over the line, and they're exploiting it properly, man.
Big up to Elliot Tedder says River Plate have a 25% fee on Enzo. That's why Benfica won't cash in full. Exactly. So they're not going to get as much as cash as they would like. So the higher it is, the more percentage they get. And obviously River Plate, man, and South America, this is a time where they're going to be eating now. They're just going to put percentages on. And now it'll be even more. So then now the price tags will be even more higher because now they have to give 30% maybe now to Benfica, whoever it is. You just never know what's going to happen. So Yeah, man. Listen, it's going to be interesting. And yeah, bro, people, we're going to wrap it up here. Big up to everybody's here. 1.3K in here, and there's not even 600 likes. Guys, let's get the
Messing
likes
around,
up
man.
right now. Come on,
Messing
people.
around.
We've had a massive, good show. I appreciate all the support. I'll be back live at 9 p.m. for the last 2 hours of the transfer window. So please tune in. Premsy, are you doing anything today? Let them know, man, what you got going.
Do you know what? After what happened today, my morale's down, boys. I'm telling you. But if anything comes through on the Arsenal, obviously I'll be putting something out. But other than that, bro, I'm gonna be kicking back, getting some food, going to the gym, and just doing that. But obviously, if you go over to the channel, subscribe. Obviously, man will appreciate it. Also, Instagram Premsy_AFC. Go and hit us a follow on there. But that's it, man. Hopefully now we can go on and win the league after this window.
Yeah, there you go, man. There you go.
I was supporting you up until that. I was supporting you.
Yeah. Big up to Patrick as well, man. Thanks for coming on, bro. Appreciate it,
man. Yeah. Of course, man. So, follow me, Patrick Tyrant. That's on Twitter and Insta. I'm going to actually upload a video. Now that the transfer window's over, I'm just
bro, come on, man.
A quick video on my thoughts and what I think and who, my little predictions going forward. As I said, I got Tottenham in the top 4. People are calling me crazy, but let's see. And it's all going to be bookmarked, so you lot can refer to it later. Get at me if I'm wrong. Obviously, if I'm right, I'm going to get at all of you lot. I'm taking notes as well. So it's all good. But yeah, all love, people. All love.
Yeah, man. And obviously, Lawrence, thank you very much. Last minute you came in. I appreciate it, man. Let them know where they can find you. Obviously, I will put your link in the description as well, but let them know where they can find you.
I appreciate you bringing me on as such. No, it's no problem at all. Check out my channel, subscribe, Lawrence Vescoli, just my name, Laos1507 on Twitter. I will be live if we do get Enzo done. If we don't, I might not, but that's what we do. So I'll be live again later on, hopefully. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, you're a good Chelsea fan, man. Honestly, good Chelsea fan.
Yeah. Top guy, man. Yeah, absolutely. We've done stuff in the past as well. So yeah, big up to Lawrence. And like I said, people, I'll be back 9 p.m. I might have a Bayern fan in to give his opinion. So make sure you check out that.
Wicked.
And yeah, man, listen, transfer deadline day. We'll see what happens, people. But for now, it's Marcel Sabitzer. Here we go. Take care.